Hello and welcome to another edition of Your Bridge to Addiction Resources, a show brought to you by the Council on Chemical Abuse and the People Chronicles. My name is Jennifer Kaucher and I'm your host for today's show. And I have a very special guest, Michael Kaucher, with me today, and we're going to be talking a little bit about his involvement with COCA and also his personal job. So can you please tell me what you do? How did you get here?
How did I get here? My goodness, it's a long journey. Well, my name is Michael Kaucher, as you mentioned, and I'm the Executive Director of Berks Conference of Churches, which gives me the opportunity to interact with a lot of different organizations, a lot of different people around the county. So through that process, I got to meet people that were involved with COCA, and that was probably my first introduction to the organization.
And now you are part of the board as well.
Yes,
right?
that is correct.
He's also my dad. I'm just going to say it. It's just too weird to pretend he's not. This is my father. So you're also part of the board, which brings up a little bit of a different opportunity too, because you can kind of work together with your job and the board coming together.
That is, and it's exciting. I think we're still exploring the ways that we can do that and really make a difference in the community. But I know for me, being on the board, it opens your eyes to a lot of different things. The average person walking down the street you don't think about as far as abuse and recovery and all those things go. So it's exciting to get more of an insider information and understanding. Yeah,
and so you've been on the board for not too long now, a few months maybe, something like that, maybe a year.
It's over a year now, yeah.
So what is something you've learned being on the board that you may not have otherwise?
I've learned a lot. Try to digest it all, and I'm not really good at recounting it all, but just learning how recovery is approached is really exciting, and how sometimes drugs are used in that recovery process, which I know it gets controversial at times, especially within the faith community. So it's interesting to have a better understanding of those things and how people are helped, and the depth of what goes into it. The resources that wrap around someone to really give them an opportunity to fully recover.
And to understand the process. We've talked a little bit about medication-assisted treatment, which I'm learning a lot more about too, and also you are, which is what you referenced, how sometimes someone's in a program that involves medication-assisted treatment, and how there is a lot of misunderstanding for those of us who aren't in the field.
Right.
Because even me, who I'm technically in the field, but I'm not working with that on a daily basis. So there's still a lot of learning how that is one pathway to recovery, and how that's how I know people personally who have gone through a treatment program like that, and she's doing great, a member of my church. And so it's something that I think as a community we really benefit from, and especially with the churches, you having connection to them. How do you see this working together to educate in the churches?
Well, quite honestly, one thing we're working on right now is a partnership with church congregations. There's 450 churches in Berks County, which is crazy, right? So, helping churches understand how to help someone that may come through their door that's struggling with an addiction, that may be under the influence of a drug or alcohol when they enter the building. How do you even handle that? How do you help that person? So what we're looking at doing is hosting meetings at church locations that would be a combination of drug and alcohol awareness, again, how to work with somebody that may come through your church door. And then at the same time, what we'd like to do is naloxone training. So we have people trained and able to respond in an emergency situation and potentially save somebody's life.
Yeah, which is something we've been doing starting to do. I think we've had one or two at churches, but the amount of people you can reach in that is just phenomenal.
Right, and we can cover the whole geographic region of Berks County through church locations, which is great.
Yeah, it's very exciting. To me, it's really exciting because I see how how the church can work together around, really we need to all be working together in the midst of what we're going through with the opioid and heroin crisis.
Absolutely.
And how the church body being educated can be such a strong force, especially with having 450 plus churches in Berks County. That's a significant amount of people that you have a building that you have people coming to, that then being educated and knowing how to respond can really make an impact.
It's a community gathering point, and really, quite honestly, just like everybody's been affected by this crisis, church congregations are affected by it, and especially like the one church congregation we're looking at hosting one of our initial meetings, had a young person die of an overdose, and they actually painted a mural tribute in their church building to that person's life. And what better place to host something like this, and give his life some meaning and memory, really.
Yeah, and in the hopes that it doesn't happen again.
In hopes that it saves someone else's life. Right?
Yeah. So we talked about what you've learned, but can you talk about kind of just how this has impacted you as you've been in your position and learning, how it's impacted you personally and professionally too?
Well, like I kind of alluded to earlier, it's easy, it's easy to kind of go through life, and you live your life and you don't really think about things that are going on around you or the depth of them. So when you start understanding more and you start learning more about a topic, and a topic as overwhelming at times as addiction and recovery is, it opens your eyes, so you can't help but be impacted by it. I mean, it's very difficult now to go forward and not think about it, because you start looking at the paper differently and you read articles differently, and you come to a point where it's like, okay, we have to do something here, especially with what we faced and how many people have died, of overdoses in locally, in the last year. It's crazy. So that's the difference. It's that understanding, and it moves to action, and you look at what you can do rather than just go, okay, that was a story, and it might impact you for a few minutes, and you move on with your life. You can't anymore. Now you know.
Can't ignore it. No, I do. I get that, because I think it's just like, I look at addiction and recovery and helping people in the sense of just like many other causes. We all have a passion for something that then makes us move forward and want to do something. And so that's what I feel like you're saying, is just there's those of us who our eyes are open to what's really going on, and you're like, what can I do? So it's amazing that then with you having that now, you have that ability to reach the churches and hopefully find other people who are also feeling the same way, like, I don't know what to do, what can I do? Which I'm gonna make a plug here. The Council on Chemical Abuse website, we always have upcoming events where we will post when you have your naloxone training scheduled, or multiple ones over the next year. But there's almost always something going on where people can get connected and educated, and then find the resources to know what to do.
The other thing that's going through my mind is the breaking of stereotypes. That's something that you start to understand, what happens in an addictive personality, what's going on, chemically in their bodies and their minds, and it's not simply, as people get lumped in the categories of, well, they made bad choices and they went out and started drinking and doing these things, and well, they kind of made that choice. Well, it really is way, way deeper than that. So even the simple things we can do by dispelling some stereotypes in our community, and giving people dignity to fight through something and get their lives back, that's a huge thing, and kind of a simple but powerful thing that we can do.
It is, because the beauty of that is then those who come out of the trenches we have so many people at our church body who are like that, and they're just bright lights. Like, you just see, you hear their stories of what they've gone through, and it's completely contradictory to what the person you're seeing now, but they're making an impact on those around them, and that's just something that
it's inspiring.
It is. It's just very inspiring.
Absolutely.
So, well, thank you for coming on. Is there anything else you'd like to share before we
I just want to,
Yeah.
I have to say thank you for doing what you do. It's very exciting to watch you, thrive in this field as well. So it makes a dad's heart warm.
It's exciting. No, it's exciting that your organization and where I work are able to partner together. I think it's a really powerful thing that just kind of happened, and that's really cool. So, so thanks, Dad. Thank you for tuning in to this show, Your Bridge to Addiction Resources. If you want more information about the Council on Chemical Abuse, you can visit our website, www.cocaberks.org, cocaberks.org, or give us a call at 610-376-8669. Thanks so much for tuning in. Check back every week for a new story with Your Bridge to Addiction Resources. You can call 610-376-8669 or visit online at cocaberks.org, cocaberks.org. Be sure to like and follow the Council on Chemical Abuse on Facebook and Twitter.